Okay, this is Mike Downing of BEARPOP Comics back again. Just checking my mic because sometimes I have issues. Let's slide this back so you can see a little bit better. I had to change my location for the Marvel video, Marvel graphic novel video, because what's happening is there's a lot of wind out here today, and I'm doing it in my backyard. It's just like this wind is crazy. It's good. It's not hot wind. It's very relaxing, but it's just ridiculous. As you can look in the background, you see my wife's garden, and she works hard at that. And I've been out here today working on her garden, and while she's taking a break, a little sniffle. So, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So let's get started into this video here. We are looking at Daredevil, No Fear, and this particular graphic novel, this little trade, this is more like a trade paperback. It was Daredevil going a little too far into what he was doing as far as dealing with criminals. He's injured, he's starting to lose his edge, and people are getting hurt. So it's very interesting when I read the book. And this is by Chip Zdarsky, so the writing's pretty decent. So this is a short read, but it's a good read. Okay. Marvel Knights, Guardian Devil, is Daredevil issue. This one I liked. I read this. So Mysterio's in here, and he's running a serious mind game on Daredevil, and he's got him kind of like chasing this quest that it's really not anything that's just real. It's just basically setting him up, and he turns against some of the people that are close to him. So it takes Doctor Strange to kind of help him out. But this book here was really an interesting book. I got this some years ago. Just held on to it. And it's from the Marvel Knights series. It was probably from the late 90s going into the early 2000s. And I don't know if anybody's just joining on that hasn't looked at my videos. I'm a big fan of graphic novels. I like comics, but I generally flip comics. And I've made a decision to get into flipping comics more so in the future. I probably will be just getting bronze books. A lot of the new books, I don't like the pricing on them. I'm not particularly happy about how they write them. I think it's a lot of a money grab and woke culture, and sometimes it's a little too much. That's like a fun comic. So I collect what I like with a graphic novel. So this is Hulk No More, and this was the revamp of the original Defenders. I know you guys seen the Defenders on the Disney series, and they used to be on Netflix, but that's the newer version. The original Defenders from the Bronze Age, from the 70s, was Hulk, Silver Surfer, Doctor Strange, and Submariner. So they're fighting a group of villains in this particular book called the Offenders, which is cool. And they're fighting them in another dimension. So you got Red Hulk, the guy with the sharp, scary teeth, Tiger Shark, Baron Mordo, which is a Doctor Strange villain, classic wizard, and Terrax over here in the corner here, which was a herald for Galactus, and he's giving the Fantastic Four a serious run for their money. So this was a fun read. And Ed McGuinness did the art. Ed McGuinness is a beast. Push these books up a little bit because the air's catching. Another Hulk trade paperback, the Red Hulk. This was like doing the first introduction of the Red Hulk, and there's a lot of stories in here when they first encounter him and they're fighting him and everything. And just another fun read. Ed McGuinness is on the art again. Okay, we're moving right along. We'll try to put a couple of those stacks up here because I got some little hefty stuff going on. These books might not allow me to do that. Let me make an adjustment. It's a little book rack, but sometimes I overtax it. So what you're seeing here is a little mini digest of Moon Knight, which has his first appearance in Werewolf by Night, and a lot of his first appearances are in here. It's a quick little read. I stumbled on it, and I happen to like it. I mean, I can't afford the actual books yet that he was in the beginning. You know, I'm not going to put out money for that yet. I will be collecting it in my bronze collection in the future, but right now I can deal with this. Okay, this is X-Men Age of Apocalypse. I really should be going to this first. I left it on the other side. That's okay. We'll get into that later. So, the Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse came about from the Onslaught, which I have another book back there on the other table. I'm not going to stop the video to go get it. I'm just going to leave it like it is. But after Charles Xavier and Magneto wound up merging mentally in some crazy event, I forget the whole details. There was a villain born called Onslaught that had both of their powers that was very super powerful and bent reality and caused the Age of Apocalypse. So this collects all the Age of Apocalypse storylines in here, which was pretty good because it got my man Chris Pacello's art in here, so I was excited for that. Okay, so we're going to Captain America Sam Wilson, the complete collection, volume 1. So this is from the story from the comics when Sam Wilson had to pick up the mantle of Captain America because Cap had lost his powers. He started aging. So all the people that fussed about it and said, they're changing genders, not changing genders, racial change in the comic books, why they're trying to do this. There's actually a story behind why it happened, and it makes sense, so they were just trying to put a little spice in Captain America books. I like Captain America, but he doesn't really sell that well. I guess at the time he did, but right now he doesn't really sell that well. So they've been trying different things to spice up his sales. And being that he was tight with Sam Wilson, the Falcon, since the late 60s, early 70s, and on down, I didn't really see where it was a problem. I read some of this stuff when they were in single issues, but to each his own. I mean, I got it because to me, I like the Brave New World movie and thought it was okay. But then I have another thing about people with comic book movies and critics. And I'm going to say this while I'm setting up these other books. Comic book movies really, truly are for comic book fans. And I know the companies try to do things to make everybody included. But if you don't like this kind of stuff, you just are not going to enjoy it the same way. So when a critic comes up and they're talking about comic movies or these new online critics and telling you every movie that Marvel does sucks or is bad, I don't really care for that because it's up to the person that's watching it. I hate when they come on and say, oh, don't go see this movie. Don't go watch it yourself. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. This is an acquired taste. And I like comic books, so it takes me a lot not to like a comic book movie. The only thing that I really would not like a comic book movie for is if they change the origin of the character so much and I feel like they're doing it like just to please whatever director they picked up. That's when I have an issue with it. But other than that, it's from a comic book. It is what it is. So, with that being said, let's go further. I have Wolverine Weapon X Unbound, and this is the collection of a lot of the 90s Wolverine when they started talking about Weapon X, in his own series. And Mark Silvestri did a lot of the artwork in here. So, this is always enjoyable. I've read a lot of this stuff in single issues, but I've sold it, of course, because I flip single books. But I collect graphic novels. Okay, moving right along. So we are at the last of the Marvel graphic novels. No, there's more, but this last for this video. This supports what I was talking about earlier. The Invincible Iron Man with the introduction of Riri Williams, which is Ironheart. So everybody who said the series was bad, I totally disagree with you. I just do. I thought it was a good series. I love what the actors did in there. I like the storyline, and she's not replacing Iron Man. She was inspired by his armor, and she's a science student, science mechanic or something like that, or technology mechanics or whatever. She makes a lot of technological stuff like Tony Stark does. So, but she happens to be a minority. So, and she had some tragic stuff happen to her and inspired her to build the Iron Man armor. I don't know. I don't have no problem with no story like this. This was cool. It's not her replacing Iron Man. She's just adding to the Marvel universe as far as Iron Man. We had Iron Man. We had War Machine, which he was Tony. What's his name? Rhodes. I can't get his first name, but African American character. We didn't have no problem with that, and even Pepper Potts doing an Iron Man costume in this series, in this run. I don't know if it's in this particular book because I haven't cracked it open yet. I've read some of the single issues, but honestly, it's not a big deal. It's just a part of the expansion of the character. And I guess if you want to say the Iron Man family, because they had Superman family, we had Superman, Superboy, Supergirl, Superdog. But it's like stuff like this. It kind of makes you get a little upset when they see a little bit of change or a little bit of I'll just be honest, try not to be controversial, minority change. I didn't have a problem with the series. In fact, I recommend, those who like Iron Man and like the series and just want to see what it's like, go watch it. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I don't think it's a problem. So this is it for right now for my Marvel Comics graphic novel run. I'm going to be getting into the indies in the next video.